Have you ever felt trapped in the cycle of emotional attachment, like your heart is tied to someone or something that just won't let go? It's like you're stuck, unable to break free, and you feel powerless in the face of it all. I get it. I've been there too. But here's the silver lining. Change is not just possible, it's right within your reach. Imagine if you could break free from those emotional chains, reclaim your peace, and step into a life where you're truly in control. It sounds like freedom, doesn't it? Today, we're going to talk about how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, from philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, can help us achieve just that emotional detachment. And don't get me wrong, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you learn to care in a way that doesn't hold you hostage. Ready to explore this transformative journey? Let's dive in. 1. The power of detachment. Have you ever felt as though your emotions are caught in an endless loop of dependency on someone or something, making happiness seem like a distant, unattainable goal? It's a common struggle that leaves many feeling powerless. Emotional attachment often feels comforting at first, like a warm embrace. But over time, it can transform into a cage where your well-being hinges on external factors you can't control. In these moments, it's not about suppressing care or love, but rather learning to view relationships and situations with clarity and balance. To illustrate this idea, imagine your emotions as a kite flying high in the sky. Each string attached to the kite represents an emotional connection, whether to a person, an idea, or a dream. The more tightly you grip these strings, or the more strings you add, the more susceptible you are to the unpredictable forces of the wind. A sudden gust can jerk the kite in unexpected directions, leaving you disoriented and helpless. Stoicism invites us to gently loosen our grip on the strings. By doing so, we regain control over our emotional stability without relinquishing the joy or beauty those connections bring. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means striking a healthy balance between caring deeply and maintaining independence. Ask yourself this critical question: what am I overly attached to, and why? Perhaps it's the fear of being alone that keeps you clinging to a relationship, or maybe it's a relentless need for approval that drives you to hold on to situations long past their expiration date. Whatever the reason, identifying the root of your attachment is an essential first step in breaking free. Once you've pinpointed the source of your attachment, consider redirecting your energy into activities that bring genuine fulfillment. Pursue hobbies that spark creativity, set personal goals that challenge your growth, or spend time nurturing relationships built on mutual respect rather than dependency. When your life is filled with meaningful and purposeful actions, the intensity of unhealthy attachments naturally diminishes. You'll find that these external factors no longer have the power to dictate your emotions. Ultimately, detachment is about reclaiming your emotional autonomy. It's about learning to live with openness and resilience, recognizing that while you can't control external circumstances, you can control your perspective and response. As you loosen your grip on the strings of attachment, you'll notice that the kite of your emotions begins to soar more steadily. Not because the wind has stopped blowing, but because you've mastered the art of navigating it. 2. Understanding attachment. Attachment often begins with the ego, the part of us that craves validation and control. As children, we exist in a pure state of love and joy, free from the need to measure our worth through external factors. We embrace life with curiosity and openness, unburdened by the demands of societal expectations or self-imposed standards. However, as we grow older, the ego takes center stage. It convinces us that our value depends on the relationships we maintain, the possessions we acquire, or the outcomes we achieve. This shift clouds our natural state of peace and love, replacing it with insecurity and dependence. Consider for a moment how different life could feel if your choices were driven by love instead of ego. Living from love means trusting the flow of life, believing that what is meant for you will naturally align with your path. It's not about passively waiting for things to happen, but about moving through life with the confidence that your worth is inherent. By contrast, the ego demands that we cling tightly to people, situations, or outcomes out of fear. Fear of being alone, of failing, or of being seen as unworthy. These attachments, though comforting in the short term, act as anchors that limit our growth. To break free, the first step is awareness. Recognize that your attachments are often born from the ego's need for validation or security. Whether it's a relationship, a job, or an idealized vision of success, pause and ask yourself, am I holding on to this because it genuinely aligns with my values and joy, or because I fear losing it? This self-reflection can be a powerful tool for loosening the grip of unhealthy attachments. Next, shift your perspective. Your worth is not tied to any external factor, whether it's a person, an achievement, or an outcome. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop defining yourself by things outside your control. This deliberate practice requires patience and consistency, but over time, it builds a foundation of inner peace. When you choose to let go of fear and trust in the abundance of life, you create space for unexpected blessings and opportunities to flow in. Finally, embrace the freedom that comes from detachment. Picture yourself as a traveler shedding excess baggage, allowing you to move more freely and explore new horizons. The lighter you feel, the more you can appreciate life's beauty and its endless possibilities. Detachment isn't about isolating yourself from the world. It's about rediscovering your authentic self, unburdened by the weight of ego-driven needs. From this place of clarity, you can approach life with openness, resilience, and love. 3. The illusion of the ego. The ego often whispers false narratives that can distort our self-perception. It might tell us we're not good enough, that our achievements pale in comparison to others, or that someone else's life is inherently better. This illusion fuels a cycle of self-doubt and envy, leading us to idolize others and place them on pedestals as if they possess something unattainable. However, when we strip away external appearances, titles, and possessions, we're reminded of a profound truth. We are all human, equally vulnerable, equally imperfect, and equally deserving of love and respect. The antidote to these illusions lies in cultivating self-confidence. Confidence isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about recognizing your intrinsic worth. You are unique, valuable, and complete just as you are. This doesn't diminish others' value, but rather allows you to see that no one's journey is inherently superior. Life isn't a competition, but a collection of diverse paths, each with its own lessons and beauty. Embracing this perspective fosters a sense of equality and interconnectedness, dissolving the ego's grip on comparison. In relationships, the ego often manifests as fear of loss, rejection, or inadequacy. It convinces us that our happiness depends on another person, making us cling to them out of desperation rather than love. This mindset not only creates unnecessary pressure, but also diminishes the authenticity of our connections. True detachment, however, isn't about suppressing your feelings or avoiding relationships. It's about understanding that your completeness doesn't hinge on someone else's presence. By embracing this mindset, you create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Detachment allows you to love freely, not from a place of scarcity or fear, but from one of abundance and trust. You're able to appreciate the presence of others without becoming dependent on them for your sense of self-worth. This shift transforms relationships into partnerships rooted in mutual respect and genuine affection, rather than a need to fill emotional voids. Ultimately, detachment is a form of empowerment. It enables you to embrace life's abundance, knowing that your happiness and fulfillment are within your control. You are no longer a prisoner of the ego's illusions, but a creator of your own reality. This liberation allows you to navigate relationships and life's challenges with grace, confidence, and an open heart, unburdened by the weight of comparison or fear. 4. Detachment in practice. Letting go of past experiences or relationships can feel like an act of bravery. Imagine holding onto a rope so tightly that your hands ache, yet you're afraid to release it for fear of the unknown. This metaphor illustrates how clinging to what's familiar, even when it causes pain, can feel safer than stepping into uncertainty. But what if letting go allows you to reach out for something far greater, something that aligns with your growth, joy, and authenticity? The act of releasing isn't about loss. It's about creating space for new opportunities and possibilities. One of the biggest barriers to letting go is the fear of missing out, FOMO, a feeling exacerbated in the age of social media. Every scroll through your feed presents an idealized version of others' lives, vacations, celebrations, milestones, all perfectly curated to inspire envy. It's easy to feel like you're falling behind or missing out on happiness. But these snapshots aren't the full story. They're edited highlights, not the messy, complex reality of life. When you step away from comparison and immerse yourself in your own journey, FOMO begins to lose its grip. The trap of attachment often lies in chasing a false image of happiness. We imagine that others have it all figured out, that their lives are devoid of challenges. But this illusion is just that, an illusion. Up close, everyone faces struggles and imperfections. The grass that seems greener from afar has its brown patches too. Recognizing this can help us let go of unrealistic expectations and stop chasing an unattainable ideal. Happiness isn't about having a picture-perfect life, but about finding meaning and joy in your unique path. Detachment is not about abandoning the pursuit of happiness. It's about redefining it. When you detach from the false images of what happiness should look like, you begin to create a life that resonates with your true self. This shift requires focusing on what is within your control, your thoughts, your actions, and your personal growth. By channeling your energy into these areas, you become the architect of your own fulfillment, free from external comparisons or societal pressures. Ultimately, letting go is an act of self-empowerment. It's a decision to prioritize your peace, growth, and authenticity over fear and attachment. When you release what no longer serves you, be it a past relationship, an idealized image, or the need for approval, you open yourself to a life of freedom and possibility. You're not just letting go, you're reaching forward, embracing a future shaped by your choices and rooted in your own definition of happiness. 5. The path to happiness. Happiness and value are often mistaken as things we acquire from others. A partner's approval, a friend's presence, or society's validation. Yet, true happiness doesn't rely on these external sources. It resides in your character, the wisdom you cultivate, and the kindness you extend to others. When you tether your self-worth to another's opinion, you give them the power to dictate your emotional state. This mindset shrinks your potential, making you a prisoner to external circumstances rather than the master of your own fulfillment. Imagine realizing that you've always had the freedom to soar, like a bird that doesn't need anyone's permission to spread its wings. This is the essence of detachment, not a rejection of love or connection, but a return to your authentic self. Detachment invites you to draw closer to the core of who you are, to prioritize your personal growth and inner peace. By focusing on self-improvement, you cultivate resilience and discover an unshakable sense of clarity, even amid life's uncertainties. Think of your life as a garden, a metaphor for the process of growth and fulfillment. You wouldn't beg a single flower to bloom, nor would you despair if one wilted. Instead, you nurture the soil, provide water, and trust nature's rhythms. In the same way, happiness arises when you tend to your inner world. By focusing on your growth, your life blossoms into something beautiful, independent of who chooses to admire or participate in it. This independence doesn't diminish relationships, but enhances them, allowing them to grow freely without the weight of dependency. Your self-worth isn't a puzzle missing someone else's piece. It's already a masterpiece in progress. Every experience, whether joyful or challenging, contributes to this work of art. When you shift your perspective and see yourself as whole, you release the need to seek validation or completion through others. This understanding forms the foundation of emotional freedom, enabling you to navigate relationships and challenges with grace and confidence. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you focus on what lies within your control, your thoughts, actions, and growth. Love and connection remain integral to a fulfilling life, but they no longer serve as your emotional anchor. Instead, your stability comes from within, a steady foundation rooted in self-awareness and self-respect. This balance allows you to give and receive love freely, not out of need but out of abundance, creating a life of deeper connection and enduring happiness. Detachment is not the end of caring. It's the beginning of emotional freedom. It allows you to live authentically, to love without fear, and to embrace the possibilities of life with open arms. Thank you for being here today. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you've faced your own challenges with attachment, share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Let's continue to grow, learn, and support one another on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of the upcoming exciting stories. If you enjoy the video, please like to show your support. And remember to leave a comment to share your thoughts or suggestions to help me improve. Thank you so much.